Imagine, for a moment, the most terrifying thought to be present. Alive, walking among hundreds, perhaps thousands, of people, and then to simply cease to exist. Not in a dramatic, attention-grabbing way, but silently, seamlessly, as if the very fabric of reality decided, for one person, to unravel without a whisper. No cries for help, no sudden gasp, no one turning their head. Just gone. This isn't a scene from a fantastical novel or a dark conspiracy theory. This is the chilling reality that befell Liam Davies, a man whose life was, by all accounts, utterly ordinary. Liam was a creature of habit, a gentle soul with a kind smile and a love for his wife, Emily, and their 2 cats. He worked as a librarian, his days filled with the quiet rustle of pages and the hushed murmurs of patrons. His background was as unremarkable as his daily routine. A stable family, a modest home alive, lived within the comforting boundaries of predictability. One Tuesday morning, like any other, Liam left his home, kissed Emily goodbye, and headed towards the bustling heart of the city. His plan was simple: a quick errand at the post office, then a detour through the Grand Central Market to pick up some artisanal bread for dinner. It was a bright, crisp autumn day, the kind that invigorates the soul. The market was a kaleidoscope of humanity, a symphony of sounds, vendors hawking their wares, the chatter of shoppers, the clatter of cutlery from sidewalk cafes. It was a place designed for connection, for vibrant life, for the very opposite of disappearance. The market, like most modern public spaces, was a web of eyes, surveillance cameras, discreetly mounted on every pillar. Every archway, every entrance and exit diligently recorded the ceaseless flow of life. They were there for security, for a peace of mind, for the simple, unblinking assurance that nothing untoward could happen without being captured. Liam was seen entering the market at 11:17 a.m. The footage was clear, crisp. He was wearing his usual tweed jacket, carrying a canvas tote bag. He paused by a flower stall, admired a vibrant bouquet, then continued deeper into the labyrinth of stalls. The time stump clicked over to 11:18, then 11:19. He was still there, a distinct figure amidst the moving tapestry of the crowd, and then, at precisely 11:20 a.m. and 37 seconds, Liam Davies vanished. Not a trace, not a single frame showing him falling, or being dragged, or even turning sharply down an unseen alley. He was simply present in one frame and absent in the next, within a continuous stream of footage from the same camera, covering the same section of the market. The crowd around him flowed on. Oblivious, a woman with a prom pushed past the spot where he'd been moments before. A group of tourists laughed, pointing at a street performer. Life, in its relentless momentum, simply absorbed the void he left behind. Emily called Liam's phone at lunchtime when he didn't return. It went straight to voicemail. She tried again, a flicker of unease turning into a knot of worry. By late afternoon, the knot had tightened into cold dread. Liam was never late, never out of touch. She called the police. Detective Inspector Miller, a man whose career was built on logic and tangible evidence. Tug Decase. His initial assessment was routine. A missing person, likely a misunderstanding, perhaps an accident or a sudden illness. The market, with its extensive camera network, should provide a quick resolution. They would simply trace Liam's movements, find where he deviated, and locate him. What followed was anything but routine. The police pored over the surveillance footage, starting from the moment Liam entered the market. They watched him, frame by painstaking frame, until that precise moment, 11 hours, 20 minutes, and 37 seconds. And there it was, the blank period. Not a blank screen, but a blank asterisk presence. Asterisk, it was steady then. He wasn't. The cameras continued to record, the crowd continued to move, but Liam Davies, the man, had simply ceased to be visible. They cross-referenced with every other camera in the vicinity. There was no footage of him exiting the market, no footage of him entering any of the shops or cafes within, no footage of him collapsing or being accosted. It was as if he had stepped out of the flow of time and space, a ghost in the machine. The investigation became an obsession for Detective Miller. He and his team reviewed hundreds of hours of camera footage. Not just the immediate vicinity, But the entire market, the surrounding streets, even the public transport hubs, they hoped to catch a glimpse, a fleeting shadow, a disguised figure. Nothing. Liam Davies had simply They interviewed hundreds of people who were in the market that day: shoppers, vendors, street performers, delivery drivers. Not a single person recalled seeing anything unusual. No one heard a cry for help. No one saw a struggle. No one remembered a man in a tweed jacket suddenly disappearing. The crowd, in its sheer density and self-absorption, had been an unwitting accomplice to his vanishing act. The very presence of so many people, meant to offer safety in numbers, had instead provided the perfect cloak of anonymity. Everyone was looking, but no one was truly seeing. Detective Miller, a man who prided himself on finding answers, was stumped. The case was eventually classified as unexplainable. Liam Davies had not left the Grand Central Market, yet he was demonstrably no longer in the Grand Central Market. It was a paradox, a spatial anomaly that defied every logical explanation. The small details, the ones that often crack a case wide open, were maddeningly absent or too subtle to grasp. What if, for a fraction of a second, a large delivery cart had obscured a crucial camera? What if Liam had, in that precise moment, ducked into a service corridor that wasn't on the public maps? What if his normal background masked a secret life, an elaborate escape plan? But there was no evidence for any of these theories. No unusual behavior in the preceding days, no hidden bank accounts, no prior indication of wanting to disappear. The incident of Liam Davies became a whispered legend, a modern urban myth. It raised profoundly unsettling questions, not just about safety in crowds, but about the very nature of human presence. Could a person truly disappear so completely, in broad daylight, surrounded by countless witnesses and watchful cameras? The answer, in Liam's case, was a resounding, terrifying yes. This story, however, isn't just about the mystery of Liam Davies. It's a profound meditation on presence, on connection, and on the terrifying ease with which we, too, can vanish in plain sight. Liam's physical disappearance was sudden and inexplicable, a stark reminder of how fragile our visibility can be. But what about the more insidious, gradual disappearances that happen every day, right before our eyes, and sometimes even to ourselves? We live in a world more crowded than ever, yet often more isolating. We navigate bustling streets, packed cafes, and endless digital feeds, surrounded by faces. But how many of them do we truly see? How many times do we walk past someone, lost in our own thoughts, scrolling through our phones, oblivious to the quiet struggle, the silent cry for help, the slow fade of a soul beside us? Liam Davies disappeared in a physical crowd. But how many of us disappear in the crowd of our own lives? We might be physically present, sitting at a family dinner, attending a meeting, or even laughing with friends, but our minds are miles away. We are distracted, overwhelmed, consumed by worries, or simply lost in the vast, noisy expanse of our own internal worlds. In those moments, we become invisible, our true selves retreating, our presence diminished. We are there, but we are not asterisk. They're asterisk. The blank period in Liam's footage is a powerful metaphor for those moments in our lives when we feel erased, unseen, unheard. It's the silent battle we fight, the struggles we endure, that go unnoticed by those around us because they are too busy, too preoccupied, too caught up in their own narratives. It's the feeling of calling out, but no one hearing, not because they are deaf, but because the cacophony of the crowd, the noise of modern life, the endless demands, the digital distractions, has drowned out our voice. The police's conclusion, unexplainable, isn't just a label for a cold case. It speaks to the mystery of human connection, or the lack thereof. How many times do we fail to explain why we feel distant from a loved one, why a colleague seems withdrawn, why a friend's laughter rings hollow? We see the outward shell, but the person inside has, in a sense, vanished. This story is a powerful call to awaken, to look up from our screens, to truly see the faces around us, to listen with our hearts, not just our ears. It's an invitation to be present, fully and authentically, in our own lives, and to extend that presence to others. Don't let yourself become a blank period in your own story, a person whose life is recorded but whose essence is unseen. Don't let others vanish in the crowd of your indifference. Every person has a story, a struggle, a light that deserves to be seen. The true tragedy of Liam Davies isn't just that he disappeared, but that in a crowd of thousands, no one noticed. Let his story serve as a profound reminder: our presence matters. Our connection matters. And in a world increasingly crowded yet often disconnected, the greatest act of courage and the deepest form of kindness is to truly see and be seen, ensuring that no one, absolutely no one, ever truly vanishes without a trace. Subscribe if you'd like to keep following upcoming content.